Over the past decade, I've been on an investing spree. I've invested into a bunch of real estate. I've been part of multiple syndications, including Section 8 housing projects. I've been part of both commercial and residential development. I've been on the lending side, private money lending for rehabs, also business loans, factor lending, even personal loans like promissory notes. I've had my own business that I ran with my wife in the apparel space for 7 years that I still consult in. And of course, the stock market, but also IPO investing and some crypto. And I did all of these not because I'm some kind of investing genius. I did it because I wasn't. Growing up, I wasn't all that too interested in doing the whole school system of trying to get good grades so that I can get accepted to a good college, so that I can land a good job, so that I can be a good employee for the next 40 years. For me, it was about finding a way out of that rat race that most people unfortunately get stuck in. And from my own personal experience, what I had access to, that took getting education outside of the school system. So if you know my story, you know I'm someone who spent over $40,000 on courses, seminars, networking events, trying to find that answer. And out of all the asset classes that I've invested into so far, business, real estate, stocks, I'm happy to report that there is one I found with the best returns, and I'm going to share it with you. The best asset I found to be is my own ass I sit on. Investing into myself. Now, before you roll your eyes and say, okay, it's one of these videos, hear me out. What I found is that there's no asset class that is superior than the other. Each has its own use, but it's more of a matter of what type of level of expertise do I have in that asset class. People that say business is too risky, well, tell that to Mark Cuban. Or stocks is too risky, tell that to Uncle Warren. Real estate, tell that to Trump. All of these investors made it out on top of their asset classes. So it's not that one is better than the other. My job is to know how to play the game. In the beginning, when I first tapped into the investing space, I came across tons of investors, but I didn't know where or how to allocate my money. It was just a word of the investors and advisors pitching these ideas to me and putting pretty makeup on their deals and explaining why I should give them my money and not someone else. And let me tell you, yes, there are some decent people out there, but there's also a lot of unreliable, shady donkeys that cause nothing but headaches, that has wasted my time and money. So I've lost money, I've made money in all of these spaces, but the biggest returns I've seen is when I took the initiative. What I found the most important for my investment is making sure that I'm the one orchestrating the band. I'm the captain of my ship. And I know it sounds like a no-brainer thing to say, but a lot of people talk about passive income. And I think there's this misconception that it's some easy way of making money while I sleep without doing any work. I believe there is a version of passive income, but it takes a certain level of experience and expertise to get there. There's a story about a plumber. This plumber goes to fix a pipe issue, looks at the wall of pipes, looks at the customer, takes out his wrench, hits a pipe and says, that'll be $500. The customer sees that the issue has been fixed and says, all you did was hit a pipe. Brother, shouldn't that be like $20? And the plumber responds, yes, $20 to hit it, $480 to know where to hit it. Brother. And what I got from that story is that it took a lot of experience and knowledge for that plumber to get to that level where he's needing to trade less hours for money. And that's what passive income really is. The less time I have to trade for money, the more passive it becomes. But like Liam Neeson, it takes a particular set of skills to get there. People I know ask me for stock picks all the time. And the reason why I'm not comfortable sharing it with them is because I know that as much as I'm right in my stock picks, I'm wrong as well. But when I'm wrong, I know how to offset my risk. I know how to hedge. I know how to utilize options for insurance. I know how to protect myself and not wreck myself. So I can tell you what looks good today, but I may not feel the same way about it tomorrow. Market can shift, news can come out, or some assassination can happen. I mean, the world's getting crazier by the minute. Or of course, it could work out just fine, no problem. But whether it does or not, would I know how to react? Would I know where to take profits, or would I know where to cut losses? In the long run, over repetition, learning how to pick and manage these myself is a safer bet. Give me a fish, beat hunger for a day, learn to fish, beat hunger for a lifetime. Okay, what about I just give you my money? You know how to do these, you know how to pick, you know how to manage, and I'll just sit here and watch. You have a blast, okay? Well, now we're talking mutual funds, hedge funds, where they're charging fees. Do you know what even a 1% fee can do to my return on my investments? So here I'm on the investor.gov site, and this is their compound interest calculator. So let's do some math. Initial investment, let's make it 100 racks, 100,000. Length of time in years, let's make it in 30 years. And then estimated interest rate, let's keep it simple and go 10%. And then interest rate variance, let's make a 1% variance on it. And let's see what comes out. Okay, the results are in. In 30 years, that 100,000 will turn into 1.7 million. All right, but check this out. If there's a 1% fee on it, that means I only make $1.3 million on it. That's a $400,000 difference. That's a house. Now, if I can save on those fees and do even 1% better than a 10% return on my own, now I'm looking at almost 2.3 million. So that's a $1 million difference that I'm retiring with. Now I can say that's better than nothing, but the point I'm trying to make here is that the returns are better if I can save on those fees and be able to do this myself. And by the way, these mutual funds, a lot of these managers aren't even stock pickers. They all follow a guideline, putting majority of it into the S&P. It's really nothing too fancy that I can't learn and do myself to match their performance minus the fees. Now, I'm not saying I need to wear every single hat and become an octopus and do 8 things at once. I mean, who has time for that? The point I'm trying to make is I need to get to a point where, look at me, I'm the captain now. I need to know how a ship works before I can offload my work to somebody else so that my money can grow more passive. Because if I offload it to the wrong person, all I have left may be just a floating door that fits one adult. When I first invested into real estate, I was pretty ignorant. Ignorant meaning I don't know what I don't know. So I didn't have the right questions to ask. I didn't know what to look for. All I heard was rich people invest into real estate. So that's what I'm going to try to do. And I'll tell you one thing I learned about real estate is that it's a numbers game. I can give a person that's done thousands of deals a home purchased at a wrong price, and that person is losing money. But if I give a brand new investor a house purchased at a great price, there's money to be made. So instead of just Jesus take the wheel, once I learned how to do a scope of work, learn how to calculate ARVs, run comps, know how to get permits, in an area I'm familiar with, just really basic stuff, it was easier for me to look at real estate deals and be more confident in saying yes or no instead of totally relying on a professional. And if it's a yes, okay, how much time do I really want to allocate into this project? If I want to be more hands-off, okay, let me just be on the equity side and I know what pieces to put together so I can get this house fixed and sold. Or if I want to keep it as a rental property, okay, now I'm hiring a property manager. But you see, now I'm the one moving the chess pieces on the chessboard. I'm not being that pawn anymore. Again, look at me. I'm the captain now. I don't know why an Arnold impression came out, but you get the point. Now, there are people who are fortunate enough to come across a Zuckerberg, a Elon, and was able to cash out and sail off to the sunset. But there's way more people who don't and end up sitting around and waiting their whole lives for some winning lottery ticket. Investing into myself is about creating my own luck and putting my fate into my own hands. And from my personal experience so far, the best returns I've seen on my money, time, energy was spent on educating and developing skills for myself. Because when it comes to my money, the person who has the best interest is myself. The less I know, the more blindly I have to trust other people, which equals to less control of my future. And now that I have a family and a responsibility to provide and life goals and experiences I want to achieve, why wouldn't I want more control and awareness of how my money is growing and working for me? So I never want to get complacent. I always want to be learning and growing into a better version of myself. If you look at Warren Buffett, he still reads like 5 to 6 hours a day, learning something, putting new information into his brain, even today at his age and success. And then there's people out there who's watched every single TV drama, cooking and dating show, and can't even spend 10 minutes to try something new, learn something new. So maybe substituting an episode for a book or an educational video, or substituting some music for a podcast, all of these can add up. If I dedicated 1 hour to learning something new every day, that equals out to 365 hours of new information a year that can produce returns of a lifetime. And listen, the human brain is built to do incredible shit. So if you have one, give yourself more credit. Don't say I can't. Yes, of course it takes work. Yes, it's gonna take time away from seeing who's hooking up on Too Hot to Handle, but it's definitely achievable. It's simply getting my priorities right. And once I got the ball rolling, saw the progress, saw those returns, that has been the best investment I made so far. All right, that's all I got. As always, I appreciate you being here. Hope to see you on the next one. Peace.